Micah Parsons wants out. Terry McLaurin wants out. We've got RJ Harvey heading to Jupiter. We have tons of news to break down. MHJ news. CeeDee Lamb weighing in on this Micah Parsons news. Jerry Jones off his rocker. We've got a lot to talk about here tonight. So file on in. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. You found your new home for 24/7 NFL and fantasy football talk. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Jerry Jones is making a mess of this situation. And dare I say, the man needs to step down immediately. But I kind of feel like this might be the unraveling of Jerry in a way that actually ends up unraveling and not just lingers. And if this is him, he's going to keep getting away with this. The way he's gone about this situation has been inexcusable. And part of me wonders if the NFL agrees to try and circumvent the agent process, to try and pressure players to speak outside of representation. I believe there's probably a case to be made that this could go somewhere outside of just news. That these players have rights, and I don't know why there isn't more being talked about how messed up it is to continue to try and circumvent an agent and do what Jerry does in Dallas. And this is not the first time. This is quote unquote how it's done in Dallas. Quote unquote, this is how Dallas does business. And it's alarming. It's absolutely alarming. And Parsons, who has been putting up with this for a while now, since March, there hasn't been communication since March. And finally, he spilled the beans and put it all out there. Just aired the laundry, and good for him. Parsons says right here, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the way Parsons stated all this was very, very deep. And he's definitely hurt by the way this is going. He definitely does not want to play for this organization. The way that Parsons worded all of this was very, this is not business. This is not necessarily fixable. I don't, however, think the Cowboys have any intention of trading him. As of this moment, I think Jerry, this is the kind of thing that makes Jerry dig deeper. Like, he's not going in entertaining trades. Even if he was contemplating maybe trading him, Jerry's the kind of personality that this makes him say, I'm in control. You're not going to get traded. And we're probably going to see this thing get really nasty before it gets better. If it does even get better, and I don't even know how it can get better. Money can talk, most certainly. Money always talks. Myles Garrett, all these things end up getting worked out when money is dropped on the table. But this is such a complex issue with so many deep feelings involved. And instead of saying something about, hey, I want to get, respected. I want what's, I'm deserving of what I deserve. It's like, I don't want to play for this organization is what Parsons is saying. He's saying literally, this feels dirty to be here playing for this owner that constantly tries to circumvent and talk about injury when he's putting his body on the line. It's amazing that an owner or anybody would have a single negative thing to say about this man's play, about this man who has done nothing but make other teams drool of the idea that he might be available right now. 4 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pros, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 52.5 sacks, 9 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries at the age of 26, now wants out. And CeeDee Lamb wasn't quiet. CeeDee Lamb posted this immediately on Instagram stories, shaking my head, just snapped a picture of the ceiling. That's what the kids do these days when they want to talk to you. And then you have handfuls of Cowboys players. As of this moment, I don't even know. Handfuls of Cowboys players are changing their profile pictures on social media to Micah Parsons. They all support this man, as does pretty much everybody. I don't know. I haven't looked at the chat yet. We're kind of rolling through all this. I got super chats I need to get to as well. Deckard, where have you been, by the way? We haven't seen you, still lurking. Let's win these leagues. Deckard, we haven't seen your super chats or your face in a little bit. Where have you been? My old man had a stroke back in November. Okay, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Prayers up. I'm just trying to stay up to date using the website. Guys, prayers up for Deckard and his pops. Thank you, Deckard, for chiming in. We're very happy to see you back, my boy. Very happy. This is a nasty situation. This is a really, really bad situation that will only get worse, I believe, in the coming days. But here's the thing. All these players speaking out. CeeDee Lamb. Players that got paid by Jerry. Players that maybe haven't gotten paid by Jerry. People are reaching out. People are making it known that this is not the way you run an organization. And I just wonder if something's going to brew here that we don't see coming as far as the league, as far as Jerry stepping down. And he said he talked about it for the first time, kicked around the idea of handing down or stepping away from GM duties. And the fact that that even got brought up and that he contemplated it makes me feel like that there is some wiggle room with some pressure. Although he's such a hard-headed person, thinks he's so good at this GM game, and he's not. He's horrible at it. He's horrible about personal relations. He's horrible about contracts. He's horrible about knowing when to act and when not to act. He's horrible about talking about his own players, talks down Dak all the time, which is a big reason I believe that if Milton, who is a better quarterback, look, you might not agree with me now, and I don't blame you, but Milton is a better quarterback than Dak. That will happen. But Dak is still great. Dak is still going to ball out for as many games as Dak stays healthy. Dak and Milton are the cuff. They are cuff. You might not believe me right now, but wait till Milton gets in there. This is the same thing, the same kind of doubt we've heard about other calls on this channel. I'm telling you, Milton is him. It doesn't make Dak not a great quarterback or good to great. Milton could be great. Dak can play great. Dak is supported by tons of talent, and Dak can deliver. And I think Dak will have a very good season. But once Dak is replaced via injury, something happens, I don't think Milton gives the job back. Neither here nor there. But this is a very complex situation. And the crazy part is the Dallas Cowboys have a real shot this year. I know a lot of people don't think they can close out the big game. They get in the playoffs and they fold like a chair. But this team feels different. The moment they acquired George Pickens, things became different. The moment they drafted Jaden Blue, things became different. And now the other side of the ball is in question. And that is a very, very, very bad feeling for a fan base that is like, maybe this is it. I'm not saying the Dallas Cowboys could have or would or could win the Super Bowl, but this could be the Dallas Cowboy team the Dallas Cowboy fans have been waiting for that take this thing deeper into the playoffs. I do believe this team, if Parsons were in play here, if this situation was fixed, they would be a wild card spot. They would grab the second or third wild card spot in this division, in this conference. And it's going to be a tough race for the wild card. Look, we'll pull it up right here, and I'll just show you guys the. I got the breakdowns here. There we go. So when looking at the East, I truly believe it's going to be an almost impossible scenario for the Dallas Cowboys to win the division, because not only do they have to have the Washington Commanders unfold somehow via injury, and anything can happen, a quarterback injury, whatever, Hurts goes down, whatever. But I believe for both these teams to unfold past Dallas's ability and I think the reach they have and the capability they have, probably slim to none. This is can two teams from the same division grab two of the wild card spots? And I think Dallas has a strong shot at it. So we'll have to play it all out. Obviously, we've done projections, but that might change. And you got to look at, each of these divisions. And is Dallas better than all of the teams in the West? I actually, that don't win the division, I'd say yes. If they have Parsons, I'd say yes. So I think that there's no wild card spot in the West if this happens. If it goes down, Parsons gets signed, everything gets repaired, I think the wild card spots are going to be the Bucks or the Falcons, whoever doesn't win the division, the Commanders or the Eagles, whoever doesn't win the division. So you have division winners. Let's just call it. You can say, Eagles are going to win, or hey, the Bucks are going to win. Whatever you want to say. I think regardless, the loser of this battle here, Washington, Philly, gets a wild card spot. The loser of this battle, Atlanta and Tampa, gets a wild card spot. That's one wild card spot left. And I don't think the Vikings, the Packers, the Bears, the Cardinals, the Niners, the Seahawks, the Carolina Panthers, or the Saints grab the third wild card spot. I think it's Eagles, it's the Bucks, and then in my opinion, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Now, a lot has to happen. That is predictive. Everybody's going to have a different opinion. That's okay. That's why we're here. But this is not looking good right now. And the way the Dallas Cowboys, specifically Jerry Jones, handles these situations needs to be addressed by the NFL. And at some point, a decision needs to be made. At some point, some strong arming has to occur. Jerry's already thinking about stepping down at times, apparently. Let's go ahead and advance that thinking and let's make it a reality. At least he could step down his GM duties and then stay where he's at there. But this is literally a problem that no one's talking about. Circumventing agents and trying to take advantage of players, pressure them into doing deals that maybe they're not equipped to do. That's what an agent is there for. And the league's got to do something about this because the Cowboys haven't done this once. This is how they, quote, do business. Now, if I'm going to say anything and try and predict anything, I don't believe that he gets traded. At least right now, the temperature is that the Dallas Cowboys, specifically Jerry Jones, but everyone in Dallas, the suits, the boardroom, they don't want to get rid of Parsons. They don't. It doesn't matter if he wants out. They don't want to get rid of him. But that's where it's going to get ugly. Could things change? Yeah. I mean, again, my formula for a trade is the same thing across the board. Defense, offense, doesn't matter who the superstar, mid-range. You need to divide between player and team that can't be repaired, or it's literally fractured into a million pieces. You'd have to glue it together. That's pretty much where we're at. Because Micah Parsons just said, I do not want to play, not for this offer. I want to go get another contract. He said, I don't want to play. And you can feel it deep in his core that he does not want to play for this filthy organization, the way that they operate via and through Jerry Jones. It is a disgusting behavior and process for these players to go through. And he's telling you in his soul, he does not want to play. Not just doesn't want to play in this situation with this contract. He doesn't want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. He doesn't. He doesn't want to be there anymore. That's how much this has impacted him. Jerry's that bad. He's awful. Probably one of, if not the worst, he might have passed Ryan Poles today in the worst GM in the league. Joe Shinebox. I think Jerry's the worst GM in the league. I'd have to say I don't think they're close to trading. So irreparable, two components for a trade that shouldn't go down, that goes down. The relationship can't be repaired. That's pretty much where we're at. Now we're awaiting an offer that the Cowboys cannot refuse. That's it. The last piece of a potential trade. But I don't think the Dallas Cowboys, I think the offer that they can't refuse is going to be massive. And I think it's going to take time for them to give up on the prospect of controlling this narrative and situation, because right now Jerry's not going to want to make a trade. Jerry doesn't want to do it. And Jerry's even more likely to not want to trade Parsons now versus yesterday. And he's stubborn. And he likes to control everything. And when you say he doesn't know something, he goes off on this whole new road of trying to control and say, yes, I do. I'm the best in the business. Watch me work. Watch me. Look what I'm going to do with this. Then he backtracks. Then he realizes he can't fix it. And then he does something and says, that was the whole plan all the whole time. Is just to go ahead and do that. So we'll have more on Parsons, but again, it doesn't look good. This is going to get a nasty before it gets better. Parsons is just a maniac. Every team is going to want this guy. And the going, joke around the league in NFL circles and in X right now, Twitter, is that the Eagles will get him. Everybody knows that the Eagles will get him. I don't think that's possible. Who knows? It would be one of the wildest things to send him there. But that's what everybody's saying. We all know how this is going to end up. Everyone's using the same meme, and they're pretending they sent it the first time. It's wild. You know what else is wild? Is this man Tyreek Hill and what he said today about his own player. This is a guy that has fractured relationship after relationship on this team. And you might be thinking he's in for a bounce back year. I don't know if he is, because he damaged the relationship between himself and the team and a lot of his teammates, including Tua. And when Tua Tagovailoa was asked about Tyreek Hill specifically, Tua didn't hold back. And he said that him kind of turning his back on the team and saying, I'm out of here, it did some damage. And he said it's not something you can just say, oh, yeah, okay, he said it this way and we're just going to forget it. He said he's still earning the respect of everybody. He runs his mouth. It says something stupid every couple months. He tries to reel it back and say he's working on himself. He's clearly going through some things. We've often talked about how he feels a little bit. I'm not saying he's Antonio Brown at all. Antonio Brown's on a whole nother level, but he's starting to get into that zone of being somebody that constantly is causing friction, and he's saying things without thinking. He's going all around the country running and racing people and doing, run the bases world record contests. He's playing high school kids, college kids in football. He's running around creating a bunch of injury risk for an older player that needs to save every twitch of his hamstring to try and get through a full season. And he's out making bad decision after bad decision. He's out running his mouth here, running his mouth over there, running his mouth over there. And Tua said he's to this day, we're talking a couple days ago in an interview. An interviewer asked him a question and he said he still got a lot to prove and work his way back to earning our trust. They don't trust him. This whole team doesn't trust him right now. He goes to the podium today and he's answering questions, and somebody asked him about third down. And he said, on third down, I'd take out Devon Achane. He's not a third down back. You put in another running back. He's just not. You said, quote unquote, roughly quoting what he said. You take him out on third downs. That's just my honest opinion. He's not a third down back. You take him out. Third down, take him out. Just putting his foot in his mouth again. Now, no one's saying that they didn't draft Ollie Gordon to maybe do some of those up the gut stuff. And let me tell you right now, Ollie Gordon, if I had to guess, I like Jalen Wright. I was one of the bigger Jalen Wright supporters as a rookie. That speed, that first 5 yards, 40 time was the best in his class, which is the most important time for a running back because it's how you hit the hole. And I like Wright, but Gordon is a baller. He's a beast. He's a big back that could take over goal line work. Like, talking about 4th and 1. You're talking about, you need 1 yard to punch it into the end zone. But for this guy to go out, even if you were to say, okay, some of those scenarios we did get Ollie Gordon for, this is not what you do to your teammates. He's stabbing Achane in the back. And the way he did it was so disrespectful. It wasn't some sort of like he answered a question honestly, put his foot in his mouth and said, well, no, he goes, I love Achane. I tell him in the locker room all the time, you're not a goal line back. You're not a goal line back. If it was third down, I'm just being honest. I'd take him out. He doesn't need to be on the field on third down. Third and short, third and goal. No, take him out. He's not good enough. This guy's putting his foot in his mouth, and he continues to do it. Now, the thing is, does this initiate some sort of, let's get him out of here? I don't think so, because guess whose job's on the line? Guess who probably hopes he plays better or hopes he does better as a coach with Tyreek Hill on the team than not? Mike McDaniel. His job's on the line. I'm just telling you that this kid's a problem. He's a problem in this locker room. And if you're trusting this decision maker, that didn't give you a single reason to explain why he wasn't used last year. Remember when Diggs wasn't thrown to in Buffalo the second half of that season where they got rid of him? And then we found out later they made a calculated decision to phase him out of the offense and stop throwing to him because they couldn't trust him. I'm just telling you right now, Tua, where's the trust? Where's the trust between his teammates when he's throwing everybody under the bus? He gets in front of a microphone and he becomes a clown. It becomes a clown show. Starts talking down Achane. He starts doing interviews. He's all over X right now doing interviews. Who's your top 5 quarterbacks? Keeps leaving Tua out now. Not saying that Tua is a top 5 QB, but when your track record is throwing Tua in your top 2 or 3 quarterbacks, every time you're asked a question about quarterback rankings, and you're always overemphasizing Tua in a ridiculous, not true fashion. Who's your number 1 accurate quarterback? Tua. Who are the 2 best quarterbacks in the league? Well, I like Mahomes. That's my boy, and he's up there. But Tua's also up there. Tua's more accurate than Mahomes. He's always saying things, or he was always saying things about how Tua was better than Mahomes. Tua this, Tua that, and now he leaves Tua out of pretty much everything he's asked. He's constantly pissing on this situation. So when you're in the second round and you're going to take a gamble and you're going to grab Tyreek Hill in the 2-3 turn and pass on bigger monsters, Garrett Wilson, you're going to pass on a Kyron Williams at the 2-3 turn. You're going to pass on a Hampton even at 3.2 over Tyreek Hill. You're putting your faith in a player that vanished last year. Yeah, he had the wrist injury, but that shouldn't have stopped him from catching footballs or attempting, right? And dropping them. He wasn't even used properly. And we don't know why. We still don't know why. And he's aging out. We don't know if the drop-off happens in the middle of the year anyway. No matter what did or didn't happen last year, the likelihood of a drop-off season, the aging out season, where midway through he tanks and takes a crap, right in the middle of the year, and his hamstrings go. He starts getting injured because he overdoes the offseason. This is the most irresponsible wide receiver in the league right now. This is the most responsible version of AB that we could find because he doesn't necessarily cause any off-field troubles outside of running his mouth, overdoing things, committing to all these races and putting his hamstrings and his body on the line. But it's so reckless how he treats his work and what he's supposed to bring to the table on week 1. And it's just, I'm avoiding Tyreek Hill at all costs. That's why he is a planet Uranus man.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
So, Parker, no one listens to a word you say anyway, because everything this show says, you say the opposite in the chat. So if you say, nah, Tyreek can have 1,400 yards and 12 touchdowns, no one takes that seriously, and everybody's going to do the exact opposite of what you say, just so you know. I just wanted to get that point abundantly clear, because all you do is try and contradict. You're like the anti whatever Smitty's talking about in the chat, and eventually you're just going to get removed from the chat. I'm just telling you. So you can stop, or you can say, I can do what I want, and then we'll just remove you. Because you're constantly, no matter what I'm saying, I look over the chat, I see you trying to disagree with everything I say. Disagreeing's fine, but you're trying to undermine. No one listens to you, but it's an annoyance. It's like a gnat that won't go away, keeps landing on your shoulder. It's like it's small. It doesn't have any direction, and it doesn't know what it's doing. But it's still annoying to see over and over and over. So decide what you want to do. And if you can't do that, then I would just be quiet and watch. That way you can stay. Top Chef says, Smitty, what about Parsons? Bro, I just talked about Parsons for like 15 minutes. Okay, let's go to the next. But hang tight, Top Chef. We'll talk more about it, I'm sure, when I open the phone lines. But we just went through like a whole thing. Thank you for your super chats so far. I'll answer them in order in which to receive. Top Chef, appreciate you. Marvin Harrison Jr. missed his second consecutive practice with a knee injury. We've got to worry about this kind of stuff when it comes up, but I'm not overly concerned. This has been said to be very precautionary, And why would you, if a player needs a couple days because of a banged up knee or whatever the case may be, you take it. So we'll monitor that, but I'm not overly worried at all right now. Chris Godwin, Bucs coach Todd Bowles told the NFL Insiders that Chris Godwin ankle is moving well, but unable to provide a timetable on when Godwin is expected to return. That is not good. You would normally hear something like he's on track. The goal's week 1. If it was borderline week 1, he's going to probably miss the first 4 games, no doubt. And so what ends up happening is Igbokwe goes to the mother freaking moon. Not the moon, Mars. No, not Mars. How about Jupiter? How about Jupiter?
Saturn.
How about Saturn? Is Saturn okay? Where's he at?
He's on a shuttle to Mars.
Well,
Mars man.
there's nothing wrong with Mars. We'll keep him on Mars for now.
To Mars.
I can't keep moving around people anyway, but he probably is going to
Jupiter.
Just so you know, when you draft him on the Mars man with the Mars man expectation, and if you were to show up to give him like a surprise, like a little gift, like, hey, here's a little gift, a little thank you gift, he might be on Jupiter. I'm just letting you know.
To Jupiter.
He might not stay on Mars. He might venture on his own to Jupiter because Igbokwe is a top 12 wide receiver in the making. Hey, you heard me right. He's better than Godwin. I'm sorry, but he is. He's already going to be better than Godwin from the jump. And you can believe that. I don't care. You can believe it or not. That's the truth. Tyreek Hill didn't understand the Dolphins' offense. He said this is him putting his foot in his mouth again. I forgot to say this before we moved on. He said didn't understand the Dolphins' offense in his first 3 seasons in Miami and suggested that the team should bench Devon Achane in short yardage situations. And didn't just say it in all. He just said short yardage as well. And he said take him out on 3rd down. Sorry, he's not a 3rd and goal or a 3rd and short or a 3rd and semi-short player. You just take him off the field. It's just so disrespectful. And to put his foot in his mouth and continue to talk about I didn't understand. Talks about how he doesn't watch film. He plays Madden and looks at Madden ratings in order to decide how fast somebody's going to be or who's guarding. This guy is just off his rocker. And at this point, you're going to trust your fantasy football season with this kid at the 2-3 turn? I don't think so. You can do it. I'm not going near that value. Tom Pelissero from NFL Network said that Keenan Allen is visiting the Chargers, which we've talked about before when Najee signed with the Chargers and those photos came out. Remember the Najee Gate photos where there were angles showed him. It looked like he was huge. And then we debunked them because of the angles. We believe Allen was sitting in one of the chairs during one of those photos. So he was visiting when Najee was signing. So we've known that there's been mutual interest. Not necessarily what you want to hear and I don't think he takes a ton away from Ladd specifically, but Trey Harris and also Lambert Smith, you don't necessarily want like an extra body there. But I do think that this is a player that could potentially, head in a couple of different directions. And we got the McLaurin situation. McLaurin, if why the Commanders wouldn't call Keenan Allen would be beyond me if they do intend to trade McLaurin. So the fact that there's no interest there and the fact that we keep hearing that the Commanders have no interest in trading McLaurin at all. It's zero interest to them. There's no benefit at all. That looks like they're not trying to fill that wide receiver spot. So that indicates to me too that Keenan Allen waiting until there's news or not news, whether there's an available spot in Washington, and we ironically hear an update that Keenan Allen might go sign with the Chargers. And usually these things, when something happens, it ends up happening later. Like this is a little like a potential fig leaf or whatever. We're hearing it in advance, and then it's eventually probably going to happen. That's usually about 80% of the time, or at least the way this report's reading of how that happens. It's a warning shot of what's about to go down. And Keenan Allen being a Charger seems the most likely now. And it's ironic we just heard that today. I think that's because his agent, him, whoever, got word that the Washington Commanders don't need a wide receiver. They're not trading McLaurin. Shakir left practice early, accompanied by trainers after having his right leg rolled up on it. Sounds like an ankle. I imagine this will keep him out, from what we hear, at least a week or two, maybe longer. We'll have to see how that ends up, being assessed tomorrow before we know for sure. Those are early guesses, and people are making a lot of estimations. We don't have a lot of information, and I'm making that point abundantly clear as we talk about those guesses. So Keon Coleman is going to have, a really good year this year.
To the moon.
And I'm not saying that this necessarily is affected by week one, but it certainly gives Keon Coleman that opportunity in practice between now and, let's say, Shakir's out for just a week. That's a lot of time for Keon Coleman to get Josh Allen's trust and to build the rapport as much as they can. So Keon Coleman to the moon. And then we got the Terry McLaurin news, just so everybody's aware in what's going on with the Terry McLaurin situation. So Terry McLaurin has requested a trade. We talked about this on an entire show, but more than willing to go over it briefly and just let you know that there's no trade. The Washington Commanders say they have no interest in trading him. That doesn't mean that a trade couldn't go down. It doesn't mean that they can't change their mind. It doesn't mean that something doesn't develop. What I've always said and will continue to say, when a player gets traded that really shouldn't get traded, the two components that need to be involved are a rift between the player and team. That pretty much is there. It's fractured very badly. Could it be put together without it being in a million pieces? Currently, yes. Money talks. Money will fix this at this point. And two, is there an offer that the team can't refuse? And I'm talking a massive offer. And in the case of the Commanders, a second rounder even, just letting you know where their temperature would be on this thing, is not of interest. Because it doesn't help them win a Super Bowl. And the Washington Commanders are in Super Bowl mode. And right now they have McLaurin. And right now McLaurin is going to bluff that he's not going to be around or he'll hold in. But he's also a very competitive guy too. And he's also a team player. And I wouldn't be shocked if he just disgruntled, came back, signed this all at the end of the deal, took the highest offer. But he has no incentive, and his agent should be telling him this. And maybe his agent's part of the problem. That's what I've said from the jump. That his agent should tell him, look, you're 30 years old. Don't go into a season and bank on yourself. You're 30 years old. You're not getting a bigger deal in the offseason. Take your money. They're offering him reportedly $27 million, and he reportedly, according to the reports, wants 30-something. I think there's no way that this difference is just 3. I think that the way that they haven't talked in months about this situation, according to reports, that they're far apart, they're light years apart. There's no way $3 million is standing in the way unless the guaranteed money, which is usually the biggest part of any trade situation, the guaranteed money might be something like off by 50 million versus he wants 70. And that's going to be the problem. Yeah, you want to pay me $27 million a year. I want 70 million guaranteed. And they're like, look, we're not even going to give you more than 2 times your annual salary guaranteed, or maybe even a touch less. What they're probably offering, 58 million guaranteed, something along those lines. Could I see the Commanders folding to 60 million a year, 60 million guaranteed, 30 million a year. So it'd be 60 million guaranteed, 30 million a year on a 3-year deal. I could see that being the fold point for the Commanders to just get it done. Pay him. He wants a little bit of an overpay. You do it. But if McLaurin in his wild mind thinks at 30 years old, he can get more than 60 million per year and more than 60 million guaranteed and more than 30 million annually, he's out of his mind. He's out of his mind. And this is partly on him. This is not just the Commanders. I've said this before. The Commanders are running a business, not a charity. This is not something where they're to blame for what the previous ownership did wrong. And the Commanders fixed his situation immediately. If anything, he owes the Commanders a thank you for saying, hey, how about we turn this thing around immediately so that you get your quarterback now and you're not watching this from afar and it takes us 3 years to turn the ship around and you're done and out of it and you go, damn, this thing happened when I wasn't even there. They turned this thing around immediately, and he's also getting paid, and he signed a contract. He's under contract, and he could have left if he wanted. He didn't. They're paying him what they're paying him. Debo and him make roughly the same amount of money, and it's not like he's making roughly 22.8-ish per season right now, and Sutton just signed a 23 per year. 23 per year. deal. Sutton, Cortland Sutton, with I believe it was a $41 million guarantee. So unfortunately for McLaurin, and he doesn't want to hear this, and obviously he's not listening to anybody that's telling him, but his baseline right now is Cortland Sutton's $23 million per year. Godwin also got, I believe it was a $23 million. 23 per year. $41 million is what the guaranteed money was for Cortland Sutton, which is why I believe that this is probably lingering toward the 45 to 50 and then $25 million to 27. And I wouldn't even be shocked if this isn't 27, it's 25. And the reports are wrong. It takes two to tango. This guy's 30 years old. These agents sometimes, and as much as we defend Micah Parsons using his agent and that circumventing crap has to stop in this league, agents can get in the way. And I believe he's getting bad advice from somebody that says, bro, you're different. You could play till 35 years old. He's 30 years old. And it sounds like he's being offered the 27 mil per year. And if I should be so bold as to say that this Sutton deal would have made some pull the deal that's probably in place and been offered to McLaurin and say rescinding biggest offer because the new market value for you just went down. Sutton and you are practically the same age. You and Sutton are both wide receiver ones. You and Sutton have almost the same exact stat lines. And he just signed, probably screwed himself on this deal just like Godwin did. But this is the market value. If a home is selling in a neighborhood and the house across the street sells under the price that it should, the person is stupid. They sell their home for $50,000 less than they should. The house down the street does the same thing. They sell for $80,000 less than they should. And then your house gets appraised. You don't get to say, hey, appraiser, don't count the two most recent purchases because they got screwed. The appraiser says the market's the market, pal. And so this guy has a market value that the Commanders are trying to go above. They're not offering, from what we know, they're not offering 23. We're hearing they're offering 27, which may or may not be right, but they're clearly over market on this. They're doing the best they can. This is on McLaurin more than it's on the Commanders. And Adam Peters knows what he's doing. Adam Peters is logical. He's smart. Everything he has done so far has been amazing. And everybody trying to crap on the Commanders right now, part of this is on McLaurin, if not more of this is on McLaurin. And all of you people that say this, Smitty, just pay him, all over ESPN. Talking heads, just pay. They should just pay him. Just blind statement, just blanket statement, just pay him. Just pay him. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. He's 30 years old. You don't just pay him. You just pay him. You just pay him. Just pay him, Smitty. All right, let's hit these super chats, then I'll open the phone lines here in 1 second. Hang tight. Mr. Frost with a $5 holler. Keep Superflex League. Pick one. Lamb in the second, Gibbs in the 4, or Chase Brown in the 10. Pick one. Man, that fourth rounder is tough because if you do pick Gibbs in the 4th, which is amazing, you have to just ask yourself, who are you getting in that 4th round if you keep Chase Brown in 10? So you have Chase Brown. And if you're telling me that I can get like Hendy or Harvey or Hunter or JSN or MSJ or like something like that wild, you tell me you can get, then it becomes a Gibbs versus these two players. Because that's what you're giving this up by keeping Gibbs. You're giving this part up. Or if you look at it from a quarterback perspective, if let's say JD5 would fall, or let's say Burrow, let's just use Burrow to be more realistic because JD5 in this format, he might even be kept. But Burrow and Chase Brown versus Gibbs. I think that if you told me this though, this is why I'm probably going to say Gibbs in 4. If you can keep him long-term in 4. If it climbs up, then maybe Chase Brown is the better option. Chat, vote on this one if you could in the chat. But I think I'd probably say that Gibbs, and because there's so many players we love in round 10, 9, 8, like if you could get Jaden Blue and Gibbs, or you get Arroyo, So either one of these guys, Arroyo or Blue, with Gibbs, and then you compare Chase Brown and Burrow, or you compare, it becomes different if we land this player. So I'm kind of in a way, normally I say the other way. I'm going to say take the middle ground player who doesn't give you quite as much keeper value, but this is Gibbs. He's number 1 or number 2 overall. I'm going to say Gibbs, final answer. Thank you for your super chat. Guys, vote in the chat if you could. Let him know what you would do. Gibbs is the move for me. This one here from Daniel. Daniel says Parsons to the Bears would make my day. Bear down. Probably not going to happen, though. Probably not going to happen. And the Niners think that he's going there, of course. The Niner fans always think that he's headed there. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Bears. Appreciate you. Scotty do. Joel, mute yourself real quickly. I'll be right with you, but please hit mute. Doing it live. Got Debo for Judy winning. Look, I think Judy could be pretty damn good, bro. You know, like he's looking good right now. So I'm just putting that out there. I'm not trying to say that Judy can't compete with Debo. I would rather have Debo. I would, but Judy's pretty damn fair. And I think that wasn't like a horrible deal on either side. Milton better than Dak Prescott? Hell nah. Okay. Learn about it. Get your popcorn ready. It's not the first time I've heard, Smitty, your take sounds crazy. And then where are you going to be 6 months from now? Are you going to be super chatting, pretending you didn't say it? Or are you going to be like, Smitty, you're right? And then we'll say, okay, awesome. I don't remember what I told you or what you're mad about or whatever. And then we'll have a remember when session. Hey, Smitty, what with Parsons wanting out, if he was actually moved, would the Cowboys become a Bengals-esque situation? Whereas the defense is potentially letting the offense just go crazy. It could make it a little bit more like that. You could have some sort of replication going on. But I don't think, you're hypothetical if he was to get traded. They're certainly better off, I think, but you got to remember that they wouldn't just give him away for free. Like, we don't know what they get back. If it was just draft capital. Joel, I told you to mute yourself. You didn't mute, so no show for you. You're sitting there mouth breathing on the phone. I gave you a couple more seconds because I thought maybe he unmuted himself, but he's mouth breathing on the phone, and I told him to mute twice. I said it twice. I don't say things twice. Parsons wanting we'll see what happens, but remember, we don't know what they would get. Now, Joel, if this is you, Joel, if you're the same guy, call back in. You just earned yourself another callback. Joel, you can call back anyway, but just put yourself on mute. $10 holler from Mark. Any thoughts on Mahomes, Fields, Rodgers, Wilson, Milton, Harvey, Swift, Dobbins, Javante, Blue, Sharbs, Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt? Caller, mute yourself real quickly. I'll be right with you. Just hit mute, please, or I'll hang up on you. DK, Cup, Hollywood, Kelsey, Likely. Yeah, I mean, look, I love Rice. I love Garrett Wilson. Kelsey, you got Mahomes. You got that. Not that the stack matters in non-best ball. I don't know if this is best ball. You've got a pretty solid situation. Other than I don't know that I love your near hero. It's kind of a late hero RB approach. And I'm looking at the squad. I love Blue. I love Harvey. I think that will work out for you. So I'm tempted to say I think this could work. But I'm trying to figure out, is this like a 14-man league or 12-man? Because in 12-man, I'm trying to figure out what you did. Your first pick. Okay, your first pick was. Am I missing a player? Maybe this is just a keeper league. What is this? What are we looking at? Because it's like you're missing a whole player. So it probably was a keeper format. I mean, it's got potential. You just need one of those running backs to pop off. I love Rice, Garrett Wilson, DK. I think it's a really solid squad. I just think, it's almost like, someone, you drafted a team and you didn't have like a third and fourth rounder or something like that. Or you're missing your second and fifth rounder. But, it's a good start. And all you need is Blue or Harvey to be something very special. And they will be. Both of them, I think, will be. All right, let me go to the phone line now. Joel, you can call back if you want. 502 caller, you're live. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Kayla. I'm calling from LA, actually.
What's up, my man? What can I do for you?
Yeah, I'm loving the Genty first-round pick, but I'm kind of stuck with the neighbors toe thing, and I'm wondering if I should go Genty, and I'm picked 10 out of 10-man league, full PPR. If I should go Genty at 10 and then take H in at 10 and do the double stack running back.
Yeah, Genty at 10. Joel, please mute. I'll be right with you, pal. Neighbors is a tough call right now, and he looks so good out there right now in camp. He looks so good. He looks like Jamar Chase already. We all know he's the next Jamar Chase. He is. I mean, he's doing that now, and he's doing it without good quarterback play. And I know Russell Wilson's a very good party trick quarterback. Like right now, Russell Wilson's making you think, well, maybe Russ will do well. It's Russell Wilson. He gets into the game. He gets in his own head. This guy crumbles and folds like a chair. And even if he plays better than I think and throws these moon balls to neighbors, which they're hospital balls, mind you, this is one of those things where it doesn't matter how good Neighbors is in week 1. Doesn't matter how good he is in week 2. I don't mind drafting Neighbors and then trading him by double-digit weeks, but that's sometimes a lot of pressure to get that done. But it doesn't matter if this is a 10 out of 10 and this is 0 and this is your chart and we're marching out of week 1. Here's week 8 and Neighbors is literally like the number 1 or number 2 or number 3 receiver through the first 2 months of football. And people say, I knew it, you told you. Like, we said it too. I'm saying it right now. Every time I talk about this, I make sure to be abundantly clear that through at least half the season, Neighbors could be the number 1 wide receiver in the league. The problem is if this team has, let's say, 5 wins, and they're sitting there in week 12, and Neighbors' toe is getting progressively more sore, as it will get more sore every time he plays a game. It will be more and more sore. There is a chance that they say this is a nothing burger season. Shut him down, and he stops playing football. And even if this is week 14 or something, it won't be week 12 or 11. But if it's week 14, week 15, when it matters most, and you have no Malik Neighbors, you're done. And so it's just it's a risk you got to assess for yourself. The odds of this happening are not 100%. No one's saying that. But there is a strong chance logically that if his toe's going to get progressively worse, and if you say it won't out there, oh, he'll be fine, he's young. You don't understand the situation. I can explain it to you if you want to call in, and I'll explain it now. His toe injury is not something that can heal. It will only get progressively worse, and he can always get it to heal up the best he can. Just like if you think about, I always use my leaf blower example. I have a battery that it's very strong. I charge it. It's literally sounds like it's going to last the whole day. And it's amazing for 5 minutes. And then it crops out like immediately. 5 minutes, it goes, it just stops. It just completely stops. And over time, every time I charge that thing, it'll still sound like brand new, but it's going to last less and less and less. Neighbors is going to get to a point where his quote-unquote management plan, it doesn't, he's still hurting. It's getting worse progressively, and at some point, they're going to have to make a decision. And if you're the Giants, and this is your bread and butter for the future, this is the number 1 wide receiver in the league practically at this point in the season, you're saying to yourself, we can shut him down in a nothing burger season. We have no playoff shot. We can shut him down, have the surgery, and he's 100% by camp, rather than push our luck and he's going in kind of behind and he's trying to catch up. What are you going to do? You know, it sounds so easy to be like, he looks good though. Or even a month of football. I told you I was right. Neighbors is the best. You just don't know it. Let me merge Scotty in here. Hold on, Scotty, dude. Hang tight. Mute yourself real quickly. So I don't know, bro. I think that when it comes down to it, my example and my way of thinking on this is, I think, really damn sound. And I think that it's the most foolproof way to go when it comes to Neighbors. I'm not saying avoid him at all costs. I'm just saying when you're sitting there and you're picking at 6, 7, 8, wherever Neighbors is going, and you ask yourself how many totes this kid's going to get. 300 minimum to me for Ashton Jeanty. 300 carries minimum. And 300 carries times a measly 4.5, which he's going to excel at, that is 1350. And if anybody doesn't think this 29 touchdown getting running back last year, in his last season in college, not his career, his last season in college, he ran for 2,600 yards and 29 touchdowns. He had 29 rushing touchdowns last year in one single season. If you don't think this kid's going to get you 14 total touchdowns, call it 12 rushing and maybe 2 to 3 receiving, I don't think you should be playing football. And you should probably log out right now and never return. And so if I told you, and he'll probably get like 43 receptions, let's say. If I told you that Neighbors would have these stats and you could lock it in now with the toe concern, you hit the button and say, give me that in case he gets hurt. I'll take that. I'll take that 1650 yards. And I know this 43 would be low, but you're probably getting more touchdowns out of Jeanty than you would. And this yardage total is so high. 1,600 plus total yards. That accounts for this 43 receptions instead of it being like 110 for Neighbors. So you would 100% take this. This is the safest player to draft in the first round once Gibbs, Jamar Chase, and Gibbs, Bijan, Chase, and Lamb are gone. This is my number 5. And if I could get him at 7, 8, 9, 10, I'm avoiding Neighbors and JJ just to get rid of that injury risk. So my long-winded answer to you is don't worry about your second round pick. Worry about your first round pick. When you get to the second round, take the best player available. But it sounds like you're wavering on your first round pick based on your second round pick, and that's not the order of process. You take the best player available and you start going down the list. Don't let your concerns adjust this plan that, like I'm going to make my first pick based on my second pick. That's not the way to go. And I do love Achane and Jeanty. If you do believe in your league, you're going to be able to field a wide receiver room. And I use this a lot. You don't have to have just this wide receiver room. But if it was like Rice and, Garrett Wilson or Rice and MHJ and Debo, then hell yeah.
My strategy.
Yeah. Hell yeah
I was
on that.
A reach on the 4th pick for Rice. I didn't know if that was too big of a reach.
That's fine.
Yeah. Because Garrett Wilson falls to my 3rd pick all the time, and then I was thinking, should I reach for Rice? And I'm always thinking, I don't know, but yeah, that's what I was really asking.
And
receiver on the double.
Yeah, and mute yourself real quick. I'll come back to you if you have another follow up. On the phone line, Scotty Dew, hang tight real quickly. Is Achane worth a top 10 pick if you don't want to miss out on him? I would say bottom of like the 11, 12, sure, because it's kind of like just a turn pick. But if you start talking like pick 8, I think you're starting to be one of those people that ends up just kind of reaching and wanting guys so badly that you don't end up making a good team. It's gonna be a reach-a-thon the whole draft. I think at the 10 pick, I don't think it's bad if you believe that the player you're getting at 10, if you didn't go Achane, still might be there, and this is a way of you to circumvent that potential, of the running back getting grabbed from you. But I don't think he's a bad pick at 10. I think you start getting to 8, and it's questionable because Jeanty might be there. And I'm certainly taking Jeanty at 10 if he's there, and then push your luck to get Achane at the next pick, just like we just talked about. Scotty Dew, go ahead. You're live.
Hey, what's up, Smitty? Hey, I have a trade offer. I just wanted to see what your opinion was.
All right.
I know you like Charbonnet. I like him too. I also like Mason. But I think, the talk is that Mason's going to, get some goal line work with it, which is good. But the offer is Rashee Rice and Mason for my Devontae Adams and Sharp.
And this is a redraft?
Redraft PPR.
Yeah. This isn't even close to me, my guy. It's Rice and Mason all day. Now, could Charbonnet, if he was starting today, which he's not, But if let's say Walker got traded to the Bears right now, or the Texans, the most two likely most teams to trade for a running back this year will be the Texans and the Bears. Although I love Woody Marks, and I hope they don't trade for a running back, because I think Woody Marks could win leagues. I think that you're probably looking at
he has not Walker, that's why he wants his handcuff.
Yeah, but I don't care about what he has. I'd say that Mason is so locked in. He's the 1B. His own staff, they traded for him, and his own staff said this is our 1B. It's not our 2 running back 2. It's not a guy that we love. It's our 1B. And he's going to get a whole bunch of work, and he's going to get touchdowns. He might have 8, 9, 10 touchdowns even on a disappointing year. And he doesn't catch a lot of passes, but it's still a nice touchdown-producing running back. I think Rice is a top 5 wide receiver per start, top 5 or 7. Adams is 32 years. Ziggy, how old is Devontae Adams? He turns 33.
Sorry, I didn't get
Ziggy, how old is Devontae Adams?
Sorry, I didn't
Ziggy off. It's not even Ziggy. Let's go to his birthday. Devontae Adams, he's 30.
I didn't get that.
He's
The internet isn't reachable.
He's 32 years old, and he turns 33 in December. That is awful. The odds of Devontae Adams, and I like Devontae Adams. I think we go back and forth on what he does to Puka Nakua's touchdown production, but that might not stretch on 17 games. And so at the end of the day, my concern is that this might be a well-playing player for a while, and then he takes a crap because he'll be 33. That's a tall order. Could he be the best receiver on the team for 1 year and outplay Puka? There's certainly a possibility of that. But this is my lock. I know we could miss some time, but I go ahead and do this trade. I do this trade, especially if you've got support that can fill in the meantime. I very much want the Rice and Mason side. Chat, vote on this if you can in the chat. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And then Big Money League, no first round pick. Would you rather it be the 2.1 or the 2-3 turn? I think I'd rather have like Chase or Lamb or Bijan, Bucky, Bucky, Garrett Wilson, Bucky. Like I like that 2-3 turn if Bucky can fall there. But if Bucky can't fall there, I still like it. I think at the end of the day, I'm a little bit more into the 2-3 turn than to have that 2.1 pick. But if there's a trade involved, like let me know the details. If you're talking about swapping order, that's what I'm answering. All right, Scotty, you got anything else?
Yeah, one more thing before I let you go, Smitty. I appreciate you. I'm gonna smash that trade. I just want to see where your opinion was, because I like Adams too, and I think if he can have a great year again and maybe have one more, great year. So one more thing is, I got that trade. I got Debo for Judy. I thought, I'm a big Debo fan because, I'm a Niner fan and everything. So, I think he's going to have a great year. I do agree with you on that. And he's on a better offense. So that's why I was like, you know what, I'll give Judy away. I don't know about that offense, So, anyways, man, I appreciate it.
Yep. All right, bro. Later.
Later.
Yeah, Judy is looking really good in camp, by the way. He looks really, really good. But Debo to me is a league winner, and I could get behind either side of this. And I don't think that, even though I like this side of the trade for you better with Judy, I definitely would rather have Debo. It's a close call though. Joel, you're live? Or Joel already went to you, right? Or no? Joel's still on mute. Joel? Hello? Hello, Joel?
Oh, I was on mute. I was on mute.
You're on mute, brah.
What's up, Joel? What can I do for you?
I got 2 questions. Who would you rather have in the second round? Right, I'm going to try to get both Kyron or A.J. Brown. And then my next question is, would you rather have Bo Nix or Justin Herbert?
Nix by a lot. You know that, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
I talk about Nix all day long. He's a top 5 QB in my mind. Nix by a country mile. I like Herbs. If Herbs was in the right spot, keep in mind, my answer to Herbert is you're putting Herbert in handcuffs and you're breaking one of his legs, and then you're sending him out there to play football every week. That's what Herbert's, crutches because of the offense that he's in and what he's asked to do. If he was in Minnesota throwing to JJ and Addison, Herbert would be maybe the third quarterback in the league. But Herbs is what he is right now. We can't separate the situation. Knicks all day long. As far as Kyren AJB, the cost of entry is different. So this is kind of one of those things, bro, where I can't really answer this question. I can't really answer this question. Did I just say Debo is a league winner? Yeah, Greg, I did. I did say it.
Yeah, Debo's a league winner.
I love when that somebody has like a hill they want to die on, and they're like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna show Smitty here. We're gonna use 4 laughing emojis and a GTFOH right now, and everyone in the room is gonna be like, "Yeah, bro, you're totally right." Like this is this is what you want to argue on. Out of all my takes, it's Debo's a league winner. That's the funny one to you, when he truly, absolutely is. And more people than me believe that. Now, there are a lot of haters. Don't get me wrong. Just like Greg. But I just find it so funny that people can't fathom that kind of comment. What were we at? Oh, AJ Brown. So this is kind of like one of those trick questions, bro. Like you're talking about a second round value, you're talking about a third round value. So in a vacuum, if you ask me, I would rather have Kyren, but I don't need to choose that. And if I was going to trade AJ Brown for Kyren or draft Kyren over AJ Brown, I get Kyren plus something. So this is kind of, one of those questions you can't really answer with like, do I like Bucky or do I like Christian McCaffrey? I like Bucky. Am I taking advantage of the fact that I don't want Christian McCaffrey and then I can move down to the second to get Bucky? Yes. So the same thing applies here. There's no real way to answer this question any other way. Otherwise, it's giving you bad information,
How would you feel if I started a draft CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Kyren? Do you think that's a good start, though?
CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown,
and then
Kyren.
Williams.
I'm just not a big. I like AJ Brown, but I'm not. There's too many players I like better than AJ Brown. Give me London. Give me Bucky instead for this second round. This second round pick. So this is your first round pick here. So give me that Bucky or London, and then in the third round instead of AJB, give me G Willie. Give me. Something like that. And that to me is a better build. I just don't trust AJ Brown's knees. He's constantly having knee cleanup.
All right. Bucky Irving's there. I'll take him definitely.
All right.
I'll take him.
All right, Joel. We'll see you in a bit. Call back if you got another one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. 940 caller, you're live.
Yo, what's up, Smitty? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up? What can I do for you?
Yes, sir. This is Steve. Hey, so Smitty, I have pick number 1, 12-man, double leg PPR, and I'm taking B-John right there. Now, here's where things get tricky, and I love to take on the whole.
You're kind of breaking up, bro. You're on that shaky reception.
Is this better?
Much better. You're the one that calls with the headset.
No. I did try my headset though.
I know.
Did try my headset.
Can I just tell you something? How much? Let me ask you.
Yes, sir.
Realistically, how many people have told you they can't hear you on that thing, and you just keep refusing to accept it?
I don't want to admit it.
Isn't that a weird phenom? It's like, and when people say I can't hear you, what's going on? You're like, I don't know. I'm on my headset. It's people are so defensive about their headset or their AirPods not working. They just don't want to accept it. But bro, I'm just telling you right now, no one can hear a word you were saying, and now you're crystal clear. But go ahead. What can I do for you?
That's horrible. But yes, sir. I got B-John at that number 1 pick, 12-man double flex PPR. And where things get tricky is at that 2-3 turn, right? So I'm going to let the draft come to me, but I've just been mocking all day. And when it comes back, I want to get another running back right there at pick 24, right? But the thing is, I'm either Kyron or bust right there, or Bucky or bust. So it's been coming to me like, okay, so those guys are gone. Now, I really do not like Chase Brown. For some reason, like, yeah, I mean, he did good, but I really don't want him right there. Would it be too early to get Hampton, like, right there? And then Garrett Wilson at that 3.
Well, first of all, I'm going to pretend you didn't say you didn't like Chase Brown. I'm just going to pretend you didn't say that. But I don't love Chase Brown at 2.12, but just the words you used. But here's the thing. For the love of God, if you are drafting Hampton this high, please take him at this 3.1. Just to help his ADP wherever you're drafting just a little bit. Please.
Gotcha.
I don't hate this, though. I just think that, I don't know. If London were to fall, obviously London. Garrett Wilson, you're kind of reaching on 2 players if you end up going G. Willie and Hampton here. And I'll be honest with you, your team's probably on paper at least going to look lighter than the guy next to you because you reached twice. It doesn't mean that it can't work out. I think Garrett Wilson could lead the league in receptions. He could also, who knows? Hampton, I think you're putting a lot of pressure on Hampton, a guy we were just able to get in the 4th round to take him at 3.1 at the top 25 overall spot. It's a lot. I like him, but it's a lot. I would say, Bucky's there. I'm taking Bucky. Chat, what do you think? Is everybody okay with this? I don't hate it. I just, you are reaching, 2 times here. I'm not saying they can't earn it.
I know, and that's the thing that I hate about it, because, like right there at that turn, I have to wait forever just for it to come back to me. And I got everything figured out right there. But another question I had is, I ran off the tripod last year because I had Bijan and Achane. And then Josh Allen. I'm not getting that. I'm not getting Achane this year. Like, I've already accepted it. I mean, in a few mocks, I've got Kyron to fall to me, but I doubt, Kyron's going to fall to me in the draft. Bucky, I have a better chance, and I might have to swallow that Chase Brown pill, and I'm not mad about it, right? I just saw at the end of the season he started wearing down just kind of off of that usage. So I'm like, man, I really don't want to do it. But at that point, I've been thinking about, okay, let me get Bijan right here, let me get Chase Brown, and then let me get Josh Allen. And then I'll just stack up on receivers after that.
Yeah, I don't know why you think he wore down. I mean, he had a phenomenal season. I mean, he finished on a tear. I mean, you could look at 67 yards, 3.4 a pop was his final game. But I mean, he still was phenomenal. I mean, I don't know where you're getting he wore down. I'll put his game log up. You can look at it, but he absolutely was phenomenal. Maybe his last 2 games he could have scored more. I don't think it's something egregious. I don't think it's something that stands out as, oh my God. And I didn't see it visually. I didn't see it, but he had 20 carries. I know it's 3.4 a pop, but that was Denver. You know what I mean? I think you might be misremembering what team he was playing. And then 18 carries the week prior, 5.1 a pop. And then the week prior, Tennessee, I mean, look, 4 yards of carry, those games happened. He had a touchdown. He also had a receiving touchdown that game. So I don't think you can count the Denver game, and I think he did good in that Cleveland game. So I don't really know where that comes from. But I will say that, I'm not opposed to saying I don't want to take Kyron at the 24 overall pick. But chat, I'm asking, London's already gone. Okay, let's pretend London's not there. Who here is feeling like this is a team that can win, or is it these 2 reaches too much together? And does anybody have a different idea? What if you went, I mean, just out of curiosity's sake, if you did go triple running back, because you can start 3 running backs, you're 2 flex, 2 flexes, right? So let's say you did draft, I mean, Kyron's a reach here too.
Man, Smitty, but just in my league, I just not I'm all in on Kyren right there, right? Because I know if I have a chance to get Kyren or Bucky, I'm getting them, no doubt.
He's not going to go in the third,
because I know that's not coming back.
He's not going to go in the third round in like home leagues as much. Like or the late third round. He'll go in like the early third round. But I think, like, what wide receivers could you land with this? If this sounds very running back hungry, can you get a example that I always use, the Rice MHJ or Rice JSN and Debo type of wide receiver room? Because if you can,
yeah.
I feel like
I'm confident on that.
Then I think I might lean toward this Bijan Kyren Hampton more so than, and I like Garrett Wilson, but you give me Rice or JSN over Garrett Wilson, the running back I'm getting here feels a little stronger. Although, where does Hendy and Harvey go? You could say Garrett Wilson and then Harvey, and then, all of a sudden, you can't go wrong. Let me see what everyone's saying in the chat. We're getting a no. London and 2 again. London's gone. Hampton is slow and stiff. Come on, Silver. Don't do that. Don't make me yell at you. Harvey a round or 2 later. I mean, yeah, you're going to get Harvey later. JSN, Ridley, MHJ. Not everybody's answering this question the way that I wanted them to. I'm good on Kyren.
Hey, Smitty, listen to this one right here, though. I know, like, I'm just going to be sold on Kyren right there. And I have been entertaining the 3 running backs, right? Because I was thinking, okay, if I can do that and Kyren or Bucky's right there, then I'll just go
Bucky for sure.
Hampton. Right? Yeah, Hampton for sure right there. Because the way I was going to do it when it came back to me, as far as in receivers, I know that Bo Nix is going to fall, right? So I'm going to go ahead and take probably Sutton right there or Harvey right there, right? And then I'll probably get Bo Nix probably 7th or 8th because I do want to get
Bro, can
Travis.
you trade? Can you trade?
Yeah, I can trade.
Okay. What about trading down just to the 4 pick so that you're guaranteed
Smitty,
what?
I initially had the 4th overall pick. My friend, he got scared and he was like, "Hey, do you want the number 1 overall pick?" This is redraft, by the way. I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'll take it because I want Achane."
Yeah, I
got
not
Achane, but Bijan.
I got it. Just hear me out. But if you in this situation gave me Lamb, and then, yeah, you know what? Never mind. Let's just roll with Bijan. Okay, take Bijan. Take Bucky if he's there. Take Kyren if he's there. And honestly, I mean, I would take Bucky and Kyren before I would take Hampton there, though. And I love Hampton, but I would take
absolutely
Bucky and Kyren. I would go running back, but that's me. I'm crazy.
Okay. So let's say that because my fear is like very running back heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If Bucky and Kyren are gone, will I go Chase Brown, and then would I just be kind of? I was thinking Trooper, honestly.
Hold on. If Bucky and Kyren are both gone, then London's gonna fall. Like something's gonna happen. There's no way you can have all these guys, and then you're fine. Then you go and Bijan London, and you might say I don't want them on the same team, but that's gonna be a potent offense. I'm not too worried about that. Some wide receiver is gonna fall that shouldn't fall. If you've got Kyren gone, Achane's gone, Bucky's gone, like something's got to give. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. I honestly, we could map this out until we're blue in the face, but until we have what's on the board, that's the most we can really go. I mean, we could go through 1,000 different scenarios, but I'm okay going running back if the wide receiver you love does not fall. Garrett Wilson is a little early for that. Chase Brown's a little early for that. Not that they can't earn that value. And also Hampton's a little early for the 3.1. But, it is what it is. Just my guess is that if you're struggling between Chase Brown and Hampton at 3.1, wide receivers galore is sitting right at your doorstep. All right, I got to roll, bro. Call back when you got
all right, thank you, Smitty.
Closer, yeah. Last caller on the line until I clear it off is the other caller. Is it Bryce 301? You're live. And then
what's up, Smitty?
What's up, man?
I wanted to ask, what do you think of trading Nico Collins for Achane? But it might leave my wide receiver room a little weak.
Nico for Achane. I'd rather have Achane in a vacuum. I think the fair market value is a little higher, I would say, on Nico. So I almost feel like you can almost ask for something. But that does depend on the league. And as we just talked about, in leagues where running backs go heavy, it's hard to say. I can't really say for certain. But what would your wide receivers be like if you made this trade?
It will be Travis Hunter, Calvin Ridley, Mbuka, Thornton, Wanda Robinson, and Demario Douglas.
Yeah. I can't say I feel like...
And my running backs.
Hold on one second. Let me just merge this call. Hold on. Elgin, mute yourself if you could real quickly. I'll be right with you. Yeah, name your running backs if you made this trade. You'd have Achane.
Achane, Hampton, and Genty, Blue, and Tootin.
Genty, Hampton.
Blue.
And then who's your quarterback?
Josh Allen.
And then who's your tight end?
Tyler Warren.
Okay. So the way I would look at this team right here, you have a first rounder in Genty, you have a second rounder in Achane, you have a third rounder. This is a keeper league or redraft?
Redraft.
Okay, you have a third rounder in Hampton, you've got almost a third rounder in Allen, so you're ahead of the game here. Hunter we've been taking in 4 or 5 on underdog, but in a non-best ball, he's more like 5. So Hunter 5. Ridley's like, I don't know, he's going like 6, 7.
Yeah, 6.
Buka's 6 to 8. So like you haven't really missed a beat at this stage. Like as much as I feel like your wide receiver room is kind of rough, and I love Hunter, but I'm just saying you still, I'm mapping it out, you're still good. And even if we flip it, it's still the same. Like you're getting a second rounder, almost a first rounder in Nico. I would probably say if this was me, chat, would you rather have Nico instead of Achane in this guy's scenario? I just, if we take Achane out and you got Jaden Blue, who might actually crack your, he'll be in your lineup and you'll feel good about it. Nico, this is kind of borderline round 1. So you got almost kind of 2 round 1 players. You got a round 3. I mean, it all pencils out as to you didn't get, lambasted or anything. This is a pretty well-balanced team. I kind of feel like the Nico side serves you better. I like H a little bit more in a vacuum, but in your situation, I'd probably say Nico. Now, would I be, this is probably what I would more likely do if I was you, bro. I would very strongly consider doing this. If you can mute yourself real quickly. Okay, Arizona caller. You're you're out of here. This is let's see here. This is, I would probably say if this was me, I would try and take Nico.
Yeah.
And trade him for like a Rice plus some. And I'm talking of like a significant something. I mean, I'd be very interested in that. Or I wonder if you could trade Ridley and something else for Rice. I wonder if you could buy Rice on that potential suspension that everybody's afraid of. But I'm just saying, like, this plus something would have to be like a Hunter, a Henry. You already have Hunter, but like a Harvey. Like, who's the Harvey owner have a receiver? Can you look real quick? Can we trade Nico for Harvey and a wide receiver? What do they got?
Would you do Nico for Garrett Wilson and Rashee Rice?
Yeah, yes. Hold on one second. Let me merge Ron.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, hang tight real quickly. I'll put yourself on mute. Let's see. Rice, that's what I'm talking about, bro. If you turn Nico, and I don't think that he would do that. If someone offer you that or kick that around, you got to take that immediately. You said Nico for Rashee Rice and Garrett Wilson. This is how you fix the team. This team's good. It's one move away. I don't know if Genty can get you more or if Nico can get you more. I kind of feel like Nico might. But running backs have more value. But your objective should be take Nico smartly. Don't make a mistake here and have me call back and say, Smitty, I did it, and you did a horrible move. Turn them into 2 players. Rice makes sense. Travis Hunter would have made sense, but you already have him. Harvey or Hendy makes a lot of sense. Harvey is very undervalued right now because people almost don't even value him as a starter. So I mean, bro, I'm smashing trades like that, because if you then take your team and you take out Nico and you put in, Rice and let's say Harvey, now your team looks, filthy dangerous. I like that a lot better. But be smart with that Nico move. Who does the Rice owner have? You said he has Garrett Wilson. What else does he have?
He has Garrett Wilson, Jamar Chase, and that's pretty much it that I would want.
You're gonna have to give him something else, by the way. I don't think he's giving you Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
All right, let us know what happens.
So
Call back.
do you think...
What?
All right, thank you.
All right,
thank you.
Elgin, then over to Ron Navy. Elgin, you're live.
What's up, Smitty? Quick question. I got the one-on-one pick. Man, I don't know who to choose. Who would you go with? Bijan or Chase?
I mean, I get this question 50 times a day.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, I don't. I couldn't know. I don't know your league. My guess is Bijan is who I would go, because most home leagues are more running back heavy. They're not like Underdog. However, Underdog is influencing some people, and so if it does appear to be wide receiver driven, then all of a sudden I'm back in the mix there too with Lamb. But even on Underdog, which is very wide receiver driven, I'm starting to go Bijan and draft against the traffic. There's pros and cons against drafting against traffic. Number one con would be that the position dries up. But the pro is, if the way that drafting against traffic works is, if you take Bijan and it goes wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, et cetera, then when you get down to this other pick, you might have another RB that has fallen that shouldn't fall. So you're sitting here downstream getting two RBs, one like Bucky, and then everybody's going to flip, and then you're going to go against traffic, and there's going to be very few wide receivers taken when you're going to start waiting for your next turn, and like 3 wide receivers go instead of like 6. And then you get a wide receiver. So you just got to judge that. And I can't really do that for you. You'd have to know your own league pretty well. But Bijan, more so than not, is my one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, that's it. What?
All right, man. Call back if you got another one, Elgin.
All right.
I'll be here.
Okay.
Let's see. This super chat from Nasty says, Smitty, 12-team full PPR keeper 2 players, Jefferson at the 1.12, Saquon at the 1.12, or 2.1. If I keep JJ, keep both first-round picks, CD Lamb at 2.1, Trey McBride at 4.1, Jaden Daniels at 11.12. In a 1 QB, as much as Jaden feels like a steal, the fact that he goes in the 3rd or 4th round makes it a lot harder, because you can still draft him back. You can still get another quarterback like Burrow in round 4 sometimes. So it's kind of hard to say JD5, even though that value is crazy. If it was Superflex, and I don't see Superflex anywhere, then of course, he would never get him at 11.12 anyway the first time. So McBride at 4 is pretty solid, but I would say, so you're saying if you keep 2 players, if you keep Justin Jefferson at 1.12, Saquon Barkley at 1.12 or 2.1. If I keep JJ, keep both first-round picks. If I keep JJ, I don't know what you're saying here. If I keep both first-round picks, I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're trying to say there. My favorite keepers here would be, honestly, because I worry about JJ's hamstring. Honestly, because I worry about, hold on, caller, just mute yourself real quickly and I'll be right with you. I worry about Barkley's 430 plus carries that he took on last year. I'm kind of feeling like CD Lamb and McBride. And that way you're keeping that high pick. Then again, I don't know. This one's tough because it's not like the values are crazy. Like, you're keeping these guys at the first round territory. JJ at, let's see, JJ at 1.12, CD Lamb at 2.1, So you get the 1.12 pick to draft somebody. Are they going to be better than JJ? I mean, maybe Genty falls. Some of these players would be kept, but they're players that would go, you know, they're going to go before the top 12 or go after the top 12. I'd probably lean. Chat, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? Are you doing JJ Lamb? I mean, JJ Lamb is a pretty amazing start. And at the end of the day, like, as much as I worry about the risk, that's 12. If we're easily taking that risk at 12, I would say keep JJ and Lamb final answer. And that's me being worried about JJ, but also packaging in most of that risk. I want McBride in 4, but at the same time, like, he could fall to 3 sometimes. Is it really that big of a value? No. JD5 at 11 is crazy value, but it's a quarterback, and you might be just fine taking Knicks or Mahomes in round 6 or something, or 5. So I'm going to go JJ Lamb, final answer. You're getting 2 players that arguably are top 5, and you just can't really go wrong in that scenario, in my opinion. So that's going to be my final answer. We have gifted memberships. Who dropped a gifted membership? This is from Joseph. Joseph dropping gifted memberships. Appreciate you, my boy Joseph. Joseph in the building. Let me turn my alerts on. For some reason, I don't have those kicking. Let's see if that works. All right, Nasty, thank you for the super chat. Ron Navy, you're live. Thank you.
Hey, Smitty. You
What's
never
up?
got to worry about me muting because I'm already muted before you even answer the phone.
Yeah, you know
As soon as I call, I mute myself.
You know what to do.
Yes, sir. Anyways, I got 2 things, 2 topics, and you'll never guess what they are because it's not normal. Anyways, you might have covered this already, and I don't know because I didn't hear it, but what's the deal with Scatterbo?
Love him.
And his injury and going off. I mean, he's getting the number 1 right now, isn't he? From what I understand, but he was off the field for injury. They took him off. I didn't know if you have any information on that.
I'll do a little digging right now on it, but I mean, Cam Scatterbo's been looking fantastic. He's just such a playmaker, and every time he's on the field, so addressing just his ability and what he could do if he does get the starting job, or if he even gets a crack at trying to win the starting job, he's just a playmaker. He gravitates toward the football. He gravitates toward greatness, and people can say he's too small or whatever, but Cam Scatterbo's tip pass, tiptoe catching it in the end zone. The next day, he's popping 2 runs off to the outside. People can't tackle him. He can throw, he can catch, he can run. He's just a do-it-all player, and he just finds a way to get things done. And if anybody's going to take away, but he did. So this report says he slammed his helmet and he walked to the trainer. So we'll find out. I'll zoom in on this.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Hopefully,
I didn't know if you covered it already or not.
No, not yet.
He's kind of like the running back version of like Puka, huh? I mean, kind of like you could almost put him in the same category as Puka. My second thing is, and this is kind of out of, I was going through some of the leagues that are on Sleeper that I'm in and stuff, and I noticed one player was on the waiver wire, and now I know he got a lot of crap last year when he ran the ball in for the touchdown, but let the ball go before it crossed the line, and that's Malachi Corley. What do you think with him? And are you surprised that he'd be on the waiver list? I mean, with Justin Fields there and Garrett, I mean, do you think he could have a good season as number 2?
I think that he's got upside. We've always liked him, but I don't know that he's going to emerge as anything consistent at all, to be honest. I think he's got talent. It just doesn't feel like somebody that's going to do anything consistently. I think you're going to have a whole bunch of Garrett Wilson. You're going to have a whole bunch of Mason. You're going to have a whole bunch of Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is by far and away the second option on this team after Garrett Wilson. And then Mason would probably be in contention with somebody that emerges like that. But I just don't know that there's going to be enough that you in fantasy you're ever going to be starting Malachi Corley. We liked him a lot. He's a very talented player. He kind of reminds me a lot of Debo in some ways of being that multi-versatile player. Could he emerge maybe somewhere else? Maybe. Hard to say.
So you don't think he's worth at least a stash and see
in Dynasty? Sure. But, like, am I ever going to expect to ever play him this year? 0% of me does. Ever. He's a fun guy to root for, but right now I don't see a path. If Garrett Wilson got hurt or something, then, like, yeah, we'll see what happens. But then he'd be a waiver wire ad in redraft. So in Dynasty, sure, stash him. You know, if he got cut, I don't know that I even pick him up, though, because I don't know if I could have a drop. Like, if I've got a Dante Thornton, or I have, you know, a Woody, you know, I've got a player like any of these guys, like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Woody Marks, any of those guys, it would be hard to drop those. I wouldn't drop them for Malachi Corley. No chance.
No.
Oh, yeah. So I don't.
I did pick him up, but I dropped a backup quarterback that I'm not using. So that's.
Yeah. Nothing on Scatterbo yet that sounds horrible. He did walk to the locker room. He did slam his helmet, but he's the kind of guy that would slam his helmet because he's missing like 2 reps, you know. So I don't really know for sure what's up. I know Tracy's in there right now, or was, but I don't see anything that indicates that, you know, he suffered a concussion or anything like that. I don't know. These concussions are crazy though. Hopefully he didn't suffer a concussion. And let's see here. This one from Deckard. Deckard, appreciate you. This super chat here says, does the Lionheart have anything for the season? The Lionheart is still attached to Puka Nacua. And somebody wanted to play the scat video, or the Scatman video. We'll play that in just a bit. Rockout says day 10, 13,000 steps. Rockout, that's amazing, bro. It's hard to do 13,000 steps. That takes like an hour and a half. So Rockout, you must be like walking around the block, just doing drafts all day on your phone while you're walking. I did that for a while, and then I developed tendonitis in my shins and my ankles and my feet and my toes, and I couldn't run for about 6 months So be careful, Rockout. Take a little bit of a break if you need to, because that, you know, unless you're already walking a ton anyway. But I certainly put myself in a bad spot by going 12,000 steps every day for like 2 months. My shins hurt, my toes hurt. I couldn't run anymore. So I took about 2 months off of any walking or running, and I did exercise bike though, and then now I can run again. Thank God. It was so bad. I would run and my shins would lock up, and I couldn't explain why. My toes and my ligaments, everything that would branch from my ankle into my foot felt like it get almost numb, and I couldn't do anything, and I had to stop. I would run and I had to stop, and I just all of a sudden lock up. And that's where the tendonitis is tough. Like, that is one that I could get rid of, you know. And I know a lot of people want that to be Christian McCaffrey's tendonitis, to get rid of it, but his workload's so crazy, and it's Achilles tendonitis chronic. And so that's what's similar to him, is it gets locked up. It gets completely locked up. So what else you got, Ron?
No, I mean, I think, like, as we get older, I mean, you're not as old as I am, but as we get older, I think I'll tell you know those Frank Thomas thing about testosterone and all that other stuff, right? It's something that we all need to check, is testosterone levels. Like I said, right when you were doing your early show and I was on, and then I had to go drive 2 hours to the urologist appointment, but found out my testosterone was 123, which is really low, but they put me on some medication and it's up over 300 now. But
that's why you're yelling lately. Ron's been a pushover for weeks and months. Ron's been a pushover on the phone line for months. Now his testosterone's back up and he's calling and screaming and yelling again. I wonder why. I wonder why. You need to dial that back, Ron. I could literally tell you the sky's blue. You
No,
told
he
me
actually he actually increased it. He increased the amount.
Yeah, too much.
He got me.
He's
He
got
started
you.
me out on a half pill. He's got me up to a whole pill.
You're redlining now, Ron. All right. Let's see here.
Yeah.
All right, hold on one second, Ron. You go to this. Hey, book it to the
You get a super chat.
Absolutely. It's great. Lionheart. Yeah, Lionheart is Puka Nakua. He is the Puka. He is the Lionheart. Yeah, we talked about that already, Randy, the H-N thing. Tyreek Hill's out of his mind right now. He just, it's one thing or it's not one thing, it's another. It's crazy. It's constant. It's constant. Can you do a quick recap of all the ways to support you and perks? Sure, Rich. Considering the lifetime rankings, but wondering what other perks there are on YouTube, Patreon, etc. So the Patreon is probably something that I would definitely say get if you were looking, just because like it's not just about getting advice from me. It's about the whole community. So you can't just get in there and be like, Smitty, answer my question. Smitty, answer my question. It's no one's directing anything to me. It's, hey guys, should I make this trade? And then it's me swinging in as much as I can. And I try. Sometimes I'll even go in like later in the night and hit all the topics I can. And so you might get a delayed response from me as much as everybody else might respond instantly. But it's 24/7, 365. And during games, we're piled in the Game Day Lounge. Just absolutely piled into the Game Day Lounge, which is right here. Let me drop that link. That's the link to the Patreon. And we're just all piled into this Game Day Lounge. And it's like play by play. I've had people tell me they literally canceled their red zone because they work on Sundays and they can't watch it anyway. And they're like, I just open up the Game Day Lounge and everyone's like, H-N touchdown. Oh, it got called back. Oh, wait, he scored again anyway. And it's just like play by play by. And it's absolutely fun to be a part of that. And then thefantasyfootballshow.com. Those rankings, the link is in the description of any video, as is the Patreon link. All my links are in the description of any video. Just smash it right here. Here's the link if you need it. But yeah, the lifetime membership gives you content, rankings, bold predictions, trade calculators, write-ups, all that. And then the only other way mainly to support is just super chats. You know, whenever you feel like you want to ask a question, get some focus, or just help out the channel, the super chats are the way to go. Those are pretty much the bread and butter of everything. So there you have it. Appreciate you. And you can buy that Patreon up front, and it saves you, I believe, like 2 whole months. So if you, instead of $10, it goes down to like, I want to say like $8 or $9 per month if you do it the year. Thank you very much, Rich. Appreciate you. Links are all in the description of every single video. And we just got a member here on the YouTube exclusive membership. You can do that as well. There's an exclusive membership. And I don't know if I have... Why is this not... I'm not seeing any of the alerts. Like on YouTube in the live chat, it normally tells you when there's a gifted membership. Like, you know, at the top, it'll pin it. And I'm not seeing that pin right now. So we had memberships that were given by... Joseph dropped 5 of them earlier. Joseph dropped another 5 after that. BBQ dropped 50. And I didn't even see that. Maybe the 50 just came in right now from BBQ. But they're not showing in the chat. You just re-pull up the live stream. Ron, do you see in the live chat that like pinned? There they are. I just had to close and reopen the app. It's fine. Okay, there are 50 gifted memberships. Okay, there it is. Joseph, if I didn't thank you for both of these, Joseph, are you still there?
You've just been...
Joseph, thank you very much, my boy. I can't thank you enough for the Double 5s. And then BBQ, maybe BBQ just dropped them. That's why I didn't see him. But BBQ, thank you for the 50 gifted. If anybody gets a gifted membership from BBQ right now, or if you got one from Joseph, please thank them and let them know. BBQ is also dropping a $500 hauler. I won't hold you to it if you always do what you can. Never expected. But BBQ says he's dropping a $500 super chat if I hit my 200-pound goal on opening day Thursday. I think I look a little slender. My only fear is that I'll gain, because I'm working out too, that I'll gain muscle and I'll hit this like 205, 204 point, and I won't be able to drop below it. because I'll be gaining muscle mass too. But I'm also running a lot, so I think I'm going to drop it. I think I'm going to get to the 200 even. And if I didn't eat that day, we'll hit it. We'll be like an MMA fight. We'll sweat it out. I'll put on sweats. We'll get to 200.
Vision quest, Smitty. You're on a vision quest.
Yeah, I am. And I've quit drinking the Mexican Cokes. I've had no soda for I'm drinking this vitamin water, which it has calories, but it's so much less than a Coke. Like this one right here, this is the same as like one Mexican soda. And I don't like, I drink a Mexican soda in like about 3 seconds. I'll take like a couple sips and it's gone. Whereas this, I'll sip on this thing like all day, or 2 of these maybe, or 1.5. And I feel pretty good. I need to drink more water though, for sure. BBQ says,
what happened to those other drinks she used to drink?
Oh, Prime. I stopped drinking the Prime.
Yeah, Prime.
Yeah.
Why?
It started tasting weird to me after a while. The aftertaste got to me. Somebody said that once. So like, it's a weird aftertaste. Yeah. I'm like, But then once, just at one point, it just hit weird. But yeah, is this sugar free? No, this is not.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah, this is good. This vitamin water, I'm fine with, and it has a lot of water in it. I know people will say it's not the same thing, but there's a lot of water in it, and so essentially, I'm not, with at least with the Coke, I wasn't getting any water. I was just drinking Mexican Cokes all day, and I'm not gonna not go back to drink Mexican Cokes. I'll certainly get, have some once I get to my weight, but I'll be able to maintain whatever weight I'm at. I have a weird metabolism. Whatever I'm at, I maintain. Like if I was at 230. I would stay at 230. If I'm at 220, I stay at 220. If I'm at 200, I stay at 200, unless I stop like running. But if I'm still working out and everything, let me ask Kruger this question. Hey, Kruger, I'm not saying this is ideal, but I'd like you to give me an honest, feedback. How much water is in vitamin water? Like, let's say I'm drinking a large vitamin water, like, it's like twice the size of normal. It has 160 calories per serving. It's one of those. If I drink that, am I absorbing a lot of water? Because people say, "Oh, that doesn't count as water," but like I am taking in water, right?
Oh, absolutely. Vitamin water definitely has a lot of water in it, and it does count towards your hydration. The main ingredient in vitamin water is water, and then it has added vitamins, minerals, and a bit of sugar or sweetener. So you are definitely taking in water and staying hydrated.
Vitamins. I love the way you say vitamins. It makes me feel like vitamin water is definitely up my alley. Vitamins. Yeah, thank you, Krug. I feel a lot better.
Smitty, somebody could be freaking out if they look at your screen here because you got Scattaboo up there and right underneath it says trade. People are going to maybe freak out.
Oh, okay, I'll move that. Yeah,
come in.
Vitamins. Bro, I'm a sophisticated guy. I take in vitamins. I take vitamins all the time. Constant vitamins are my main thing. I might have a vitamin show. Vitamins.
That's funny.
Oh, Kruger did talk differently before, and now he talks a little bit more like stoned. But I don't notice it anymore because I talk to him all the time. So now I don't even remember how he used to sound. So I'm used to it now. I know everybody's like, man, what happened to him? Hey, Kruger, what is it? Can you say vitamins again?
I sure think. Fun word to say, especially depending on where you're from. It's got a nice ring to it.
Say it again.
Vitamins. There you go. Always happy to say it
again. He's always happy no matter what. Yeah, I'm happy. You want me to say vitamins? Let's have him say it 10 times in a row. Let's hear it. Hey, Kruger, say vitamins 10 times in a row for me, please. Vitamins. There you go. Say Devon Achane 10 times in a row.
Devon Achane, 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 Devon Achane.
Devon Chain.
Devon Chain. Oh, hold on. One more. Say Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day 10 times.
Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins.
Faster. We don't have all day.
Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day. Devon Achan takes his vitamins every day.
Oh man, he's more advanced than Jarvis. I remember when we first started Jarvis, we're like, dude, this is not happening, and there he is. All right,
super chat from Stephen Drake.
All right, let's go. Phone line's open, by the way.
Into the show.
And another one.
We still got BBQ's 50 gifted memberships rolling in. Let's see here. I know. What's her name? What's Connor? What's Connor's first name from Terminator? What guys? Help me out. What's her name? Connor. What is it? I don't know. But anyway, I love that meme where it's like, John Connor, but Sarah Connor.
Connor was the last name. Yeah.
Sarah Connor and John Connor. This is like the meme that shows Sarah Connor looking at you, and it's like, this is Sarah Connor looking at you as you use AI. It's like we're gonna take ourselves out, no doubt about it. There's no question in my mind. Would you trade Chuba for Higgins? Is that Jaden Higgins? I assume. I'm sorry. T Higgins. I assume. I would probably rather have Chuba, to be honest. I like Higgins, but Chuba is a low-end running back 1. Higgins is a wide receiver 2. In best ball, Higgins is very valuable, but Higgins is not in non-best ball. It's not the same. He was like wide receiver 17. I know he would have if he would have played full games, scored higher, but he's constantly like wide receiver 15, 17. Give me Chuba. Can you do a recap of all the ways? Oh, Rich, thank you. Appreciate that. I already answered that one. And then BBQ dropping this one right here. 10-mile run today, going to wear the Fantasy Football Show headband during my upcoming half marathon. I need a photo of that. I didn't realize I was selling headbands. Take your vitamins, though, before you do it. Need the community to pick which show. Always be recruiting. Thank you very much, BBQ. BBQ takes his vitamins. Thank you, BBQ. BBQ, that gets you a Mars shot, by the way. Memberships 50 from BBQ. Smitty, I'm pulling for you to achieve your goal. Thank you, BBQ. I know you are. And then this last super chat, and then Ron, I'm gonna come to you for a final question. Is Bucky London insane at the 1-2 turn instead of insane in best ball? London at the 1-2 turn. So you're talking about a 12-13? No, it's not. They're both definitely capable. I would say London is a number 12-13 pick for me. And while you could say that Bucky anywhere inside round 2, there's levels to his ability to win your league and kind of win your league, and anywhere in 2 is fine for me for Bucky, honestly. 2.1 to 2.12 is Bucky's ADP in my mind. I'm fine with it. But the later you get him, the more home run capability you have, just so you know. But there's nothing wrong with that combo. I guess I would just ask myself if Genty's there, is it worth going Genty in London, or is it worth going Genty and Bucky even? But Bucky and London are pretty dead even to me. And then this one here from Deckard. Deckard says BBQ smashing it. I can't say that I can run a half marathon. I mean, BBQ, that's fantastic. I could run short distances. I could run 2 miles fast, or maybe 3. And then that's when my knees would probably start giving out a little bit, I think, or just being sore. But I could run short distances. And I can't do what BBQ does, a half marathon. I used to be able to, for sure. I used to run like 8 miles a day when I was a little younger. But now I could run. I bet you I could run, if push came to shove, I could run a sub 7-minute mile. And if you give me a month or maybe 2 months, I could get below 6. I could run a 5-something mile. But that's about where my body can handle, is the shorter distances like that. I know some people think a mile is long, but like running a marathon, half marathon, 13 miles, 20 miles, 26 miles, that's crazy. I can't imagine running 26 miles right now. I don't think my knees would last. Scotty, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, I have a trade offer. If I can run it by you and see what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I had Devontae Adams, and I'm looking try to beef up my running back group because I have Derrick Henry and then Tony Pollard and Judkins, and that was before all this happened. But I do have Jerome Ford, Garendo, Brashard Smith.
All right.
But he's offering Jerry Jeudy and Robert Dunze and Jordan Mason for Devontae Adams.
Jeudy, Rome, and who?
And Mason.
And this is a redraft, you said.
Yeah. So those 2 players for Adams, and then Christian Watson, but that's whatever.
I think you probably take this trade. I'll see what the chat thinks. I mean, Adams does have the capability of being the number 1 wide receiver in LAR. And if anybody thinks he can't, that, I think that's, I don't want to say it's
You've been placed on hold. Please wait for your contact to return.
okay. Well,
Thank
I think we're going to go ahead and, I think that, this is a 33-year-old player in December, but he's going to be 32 for the majority of the season. So 32 years old for the majority of the season, 32-year-old player, likelihood of breaking down at some point during the season is very, very likely, but he could be top 10 per start at some point. He could easily be top 10 per start for how many games? In a redraft setting, non-best ball. So best ball, I like Adams a whole lot more than I like him in non-best ball. You know what I'm saying? That you're talking about a player that in best ball, if he gives you top 10 wide receiver starts for 10 starts, you could win a league off that, and you're having a rotation anyway. Jamar Chase wasn't even used in the winners lineup in Best Ball Mania last year. So you got to understand that that's the difference between Best Ball Mania is even if Adams played well all year and stayed healthy, you're still probably having 2 or 3 or 4 games where he's subbed out by optimal scoring. But in a format like non-best ball, regular redraft, Adams is a whole different value for me in risk level. So I would say give me the idea that Rome or Jeudy could be super close to Adams, but also play all year. And then you give me this added Mason value. I think this is pretty good. Also, I think I could couple some of this for a better player than Adams. You know what I mean? Like, I think you could flip this exact package later, even if you just waited a little bit, let it simmer, and then people forget that you just got this because they might not because you just did it. But, I mean, you could get a Garrett Wilson or something like that, I think, with this package. This is especially if Mason starts looking better, I'd take this deal and hold it. Rome alone could be as good as Adams. Jeudy alone could be as good as Adams. Mason, it's debatable if he's as good as Adams, but this is a lot of value. That's a lot of value, bro. Take it. You have depth for days, bro. You could.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'm gonna smash that.
Yeah, I mean, you could create all kinds of trade packages with that. That's 3 extra pieces to now move around. I like it. All right, bro.
All right, let's go. Smitty approved. Aloha, dude.
All right, later.
Just been Smitty approved.
I'm kind of mad at Scotty Duke because he didn't call us during the tsunami stuff, and then his excuse was that it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't going to hit, and I was like, well, we didn't know that. And then I said he probably was the first one that evacuated. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't going to do anything. And Scotty's up on the top of the mountain. All right, Ron, any final thoughts?
You don't need, please. the only place to evacuate to is the mountain. Where else are you gonna go?
Yeah, but that's where you call from. He's like, "Hey, what's up, Smitty? On top of the hill." What can I do?
Good signal up there.
Yeah. What can we do for you, Ron? Final thoughts. Final question.
No. I asked my 2 questions that I was wondering about Corley and Scatabo. So.
All right.
Yeah.
See you later, Ron.
All right. You doing a draft tonight?
Yeah, we'll be back at midnight Eastern.
All right. We'll catch you there.
All right. Later, Ron.
chat. Later, Smitty.
All right. We also have some. It's August 1. I'm going to do a preemptive waiver wire show for tomorrow morning. I'm going to do a whole bunch of content. This is not. You think that this show is better in the off season than it is the in season, and I'll admit that it has been true, but not because the in season lacks. It just means that we're as good or better than anybody, in my opinion, in the in season, but we crush everybody in the off season. Like, we crush them into little itty bitty pieces. They don't stand a chance. We create more content. We have more engagement. Nobody does it like we do. But I'll admit, during the season, I feel like we're just this much better than everybody else. Well, that changes now. This year, you're going to get so many uploads. 7:30 a.m. Eastern is when the uploads drop, so you can consistently look for them. 7:30 a.m. Eastern. That is going to be 4:30 a.m. That will change with daylight savings at some point to 5:30. But 4:30 a.m. Pacific time. So that's when you're going to get these uploads. Tomorrow morning should be the waiver wire video. I'll start to upload what I hope to be nearly daily, and we're going to crush the year. We're going to crush the year. We've got the Wild Wild West in session. This occurs during the season. There's no more spacemen or anything. That all gets locked in to the off season. So week 1 is the Wanted. And we're going to keep up with this all season long. These are the buy lows, the sell highs weekly.
The top most wanted outlaws. These outlaws are on the run.
As an example. But we don't stop there. I give you the Throne Men, the in-season version of, dare we say, Moon Men, Mars Men, Saturn Men, Jupiter Men, Mid-Season Monsters, and Revenge Tour. I give you the Throne Men. These will be the players that you want on your team. Doesn't mean they're the highest 9 scoring players. Doesn't mean we won't add a court of additional players later, like the players that can get into the royal court. But this is the 9 must-own players. Some of them will be on the rise. Some of them will be balling out, and people will wonder if they should get rid of them. Guys like Kyron, guys like Hunter, maybe they haven't popped off yet. But the Throne Men will be here to stay. In season is Wild Wild West versus Throne. And dare I say, the two sides might collide at some point. There might be some sort of battle. There might be some video drops on the battle between the West and the medieval Throne Men. The White Walkers. The medieval Viking-esque players versus the Cowboys and all that stuff. So hang tight, but this is never going to be a better in-season than you've ever seen. The waiver wire, the rise, decline, the weekly rankings, uploaded videos, and the live streams will all be per usual. And I've got a little bit of a nice little surprise in store for the waiver wire, the way we do waiver wire, okay? It's going to be very much the same, but it's going to be in a little bit of a different way that's going to give you way more value added. We'll be back tonight. We draft on Underdog pretty much every night at midnight. So for those that don't know, now you know. We're live Monday through Friday. Subscribe if you're new. You just found your new home. Nobody's live more than us, in my opinion. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. Live additionally on a separate video whenever big news breaks. And I'm live almost every single midnight Eastern drafting with you on Underdog, which we'll be doing tonight. Underdog promo code Smitty. If you want to draft with us, you better smash the link I'm dropping. It's in the description of every video. Code Smitty gets it done, but I just dropped the link right there. Hit that link. I'm going to pin the link in the live chat on the way out the door. If you want to draft tonight, you better do it. You better do it live. And don't forget to get on over to my Patreon. That link is in the description of every video. I'll drop that link right now as well. I'm going to go chat live with my people on Patreon right this second, right now. So join me over there. I'll see you all tonight, midnight Eastern, like we do it. And we don't just do this old, let me put the draft board up and just very in monotone fashion go, I'm going to click this guy. I think I'm going to click this guy. He's a good click at 13. I'll click him at 23. And just mundanely draft over and over with a big fat board in your face. We do content. We break down news. We break down theories. We take phone calls. And we do our graveyard show like that. We don't just sit staring at a board every night. This is how we do it. It's how Dad did it. It's how America does it. And it's worked out pretty good so far. See you all at midnight Eastern tonight.
What is that smell? Someone needs me.
Help! Help! I'm going to lose my fantasy week! Somebody help! Call the Scat Man!
He's the Scat Man. He's scatting all around. Scoring loads when he's called upon. He will ground and pound. Scat Man, yeah! He's the guy you call when things go astray. Scat Man can score all day. He's the Scat Man. Scat Man.
No one's dropped a $100 hauler yet to sponsor this video. I'm surprised no one sponsored this video yet. $100 hauler, get your name on it.
Scat Man will score TDs. He will make you get on your knees and say, please, Scat Man, I beg no more. I've had enough of your touchdown galore. Please, Scat Man, I beg no more. I've had enough of your touchdown galore.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates, locations on Earth and Jupiter.
There are handfuls of Saturn, Mars, and Moon men, but only 8 can be supernovas. I give you the 8 best picks in fantasy football.
They are the 8 supernovas.
We might be... Neighbors is on this supernova list. We may or may not be adjusting that.
The 8 supernovas. The hateful 8 supernovas.
The graduates, the generals.
At the 8 supernovas.
We may adjust neighbors. We might.
The magnificent 8.
We may adjust the neighbor's pick. I'm not sure yet. He's still arguably the best receiver in the league a calendar year from today, and maybe even right now. It's just it's the toe. It's nothing dynasty wise. You better not even think about getting rid of him. You know, you better not even think about it. In dynasty, you better not even contemplate getting rid of Malik Neighbors. But from a 2025 perspective, I need to do it's August 1. I kind of wanted to have that up, but then again, it's like, you know, we have all August, at least till mid-August, to really nail down. A lot of people do their drafts not even before August 15, the majority of people. So I think August 14, August 13 is the deadline I'm going to give myself to either swap out Neighbors or not swap them out. I'm not sure yet. Would say Hampton was a strong candidate, but now Hampton's value is so much higher based on the Najee news. It's hard to say that that's a value as much as it was. It's just not. So, he doesn't really qualify as the best pick in fantasy. He still could explode from 25, 26 overall, but, I don't know. All right. I'll be back at midnight Eastern. Appreciate you all. Deuce. Thank you to my super chatters. Thank you, Deckard. Thank you, Deckard. Thank you, Frost. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, BBQ, for the 50 gifted memberships. Thank you, Bears. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you, Ice. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, E-Rock. Thank you, Frost again. Thank you, Nasty. Thank you, Deckard again. Thank you, Rockout. Congrats on your steps, Rockout. Richie, thank you, or Rich. BBQ again. Steven, BBQ again. Healing, and Deckard. And then the gifted membership monsters again. Thank you, BBQ. And the other was Joseph. Joseph, thank you for the gifted memberships. You dropped 2 of them, or 5 of them, two times. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate you so much. Let me just make sure I have that right. Give him the proper. Yes, he dropped 10 total gifted memberships, and BBQ, thank you for the 50. See you all at midnight Eastern. Deuce.